Vincenzo'S Gold Crypto Investing this June the 17th, 2025, early afternoon altcoin cryptocurrency daily update. And I don't have a lot of time here, so we're going to do this very quickly. And I appreciate your support and loyalty building this movement. And you can like the channel, subscribe, become members of Jabroni Killer in the video description and or pinned comment. And something that we're going to look at very, very quickly here. As you can see, I think there's going to be, we're in the middle of this once-in-a-generational commodity bull run in the gold and silver bullion and mining stocks. I think there might be a brief one last chance correction in the silver bullion price, where like you've seen a few times here during this run, and then we'll get into the altcoins because I do not have a lot of time, but I think this is very important. You can see as we've had a few times on this pump over the last year, we've had notable corrections right here. Come on. Right here, we went down 12%, right? Then we had a pump up right after that. Come on. Then we had a correction right here where we went from top to bottom, 11%. We've had multiple 10 to 15% corrections. Then we had a 17% correction. And then you can see right here recently, we had about a 15% flash correction when the rest of the commodity market was still pumping, right? I think maybe after breaking that critical level, we could have one more final drawback, or not one more, but a brief drawback between 34 and potentially as low as 32, followed by another ferocious rally like you've seen right there. And if it does do it, load up on the silver. I will be buying more mining stocks and silver bullion if it does that. If it doesn't do it, my bags are already loaded, and I'm going to just continue to enjoy the ride. But for somebody that hasn't invested in silver bullion mining stocks or silver bullion itself, that could give you a brief chance to make some things happen. But then if we go into the altcoins, we're going to start with AMP real quick. You can see AMP, we believe maybe we're in this longer pattern in order to get us up to that 2.5 to 5, 6 cent level. And maybe we just needed to be in this pattern to form a longer consolidation to build the pattern for the eventual breakout that'll get you all the way up here. And right now where we're at is we're on lower support again, like we were back here in February of 24, September, October of 24, April of 25, and now June. We're on this lower support, and what you would expect for this pattern to continue now is you ride along support, pump, ride along support, and then pump back up to here, slightly lower highs, slightly higher lows, and then eventually you have a breakout maybe in 6 or 8 months, right? But I would think in the next few weeks, you start to bottom out here, trade sideways like you've done, and then actually start trading back up and eventually come up to this upper resistance, maybe mid-late summer and the start of spring, or the start of fall. Just like you can see our track says there in the background, right? So that's something we're going to pay attention to in AMP. ALGO is the same thing. We're below a critical support level in ALGO. We're below that 20 cents, something that we talked about is a very critical level. The whole time since we started talking about this coin when it was getting rejected up here, we laid out why this 33 cents was critical, the top part of this red support and resistance box. We traded along it and above the 50-day uptrending moving average at the time, but we said if it breaks that 50, gets back into this box below this 36 cents, you would come straight down to the bottom part of the box, and you can see you did. Then you traded along it, and we were saying if you broke that, you're coming to 19, 20 cents as a major support level. And then the next one below that would be the 10 cents, and that's the one that we're currently paying attention to see if you can't come back down to that here now that you've broken down below this. And what I would expect is either a quick bounce up here and a rejection, or it's going to come down to this regional low at 14.5 cents, potentially followed by a slight rally, and then that could get you down to 10 cents. But as long as you're below these moving averages that are stacked from short term to long term, from bottom to top above the price, and below this critical 20 cents, you're very, very short term bearish, and you're eyeing the 10 cent level, right? And that would be a great accumulation zone, even though I'm not a financial advisor. XCN, the same thing. You're threatening to have a flash dump to the downside, where you go from the 0.01356 straight down to lower support in this box at 0.077, where this move started. And then potentially this could give it all the way back, something that we've been talking about, where you could have a full lateral flush to where the move started if you don't get some support and don't flip the state of the market. And I'm sure that's exactly what the normal state of the market is, getting all these guys trapped that didn't own the coin and bought this 30, 40x move, and they didn't buy it all down here. Look at all this area where they should have been buying, the retail trader. That is where the smart money bought, and then the smart money unloaded to the dumb money up here, right? And then the dumb money gets stuck holding the bag for several years until we rinse, wash, and repeat the cycle all over again. And that's what we're here to do, to try to give you the advantage and let you understand the cycle. The XDC, before I let you go here in a couple of minutes, we were in this head and shoulders topping out reversal pattern. We laid down right here the technical target. It was about a 52.46% move to the downside from the neckline, about a 75% move from the top, and you can see that was our target, and we've gotten awfully close. We've traded sideways. We're below the moving averages. We're at that double bottom 0.059. We're about to break through, and if we do, your next target, and you'll drop down very quickly if you don't get the buyers to come back in a very short amount of time. The same thing with the DGB. We're now below that critical 0.00837, and we confirmed it briefly as resistance now on a back test. And if you can't get the buyers to come in, this could be where you fulfill this technical target that we had right here. You can see that. That's the technical target at 0.00560. We'll get more into this later on this evening. Peace, and I got to get back to work the rec site, bro. J.